Good afternoon, everybody. It is, what's today, Wednesday, allergy plagued, and today we'll be talking about how to get really, really lean and what the challenges are with that. So, when we recap from last week, getting to a body that's, shall we say, beach ready or that's works for your wedding is pretty straightforward and a rather linear affair. So you have somebody who simply goes on and says, okay, I reduce my calories, I follow a not completely stupid weight training program, and I add in some cardio, and this person will get to a physique that's good enough for the beach or, whatever that person's trying to do. It's pretty linear affair. Just the question is how much time will it take you to get there and how much discipline you have, how many slip-ups. But in the grand scheme of things, the old eating less, training more, working out with weights, and either cut the carbs or the fats out of your intake will get you to that particular body. So that's not terribly difficult. But today we're talking about those that want to go the extra mile. So that's people who really want to have an 8-pack or maybe want to go on a bodybuilding show or want to go on a photo shoot or simply want to know how does this really work. So getting to very low body fat levels is really, really difficult. Why? Well, because your body hates you. But that's not true. Your body loves you. The leaner you get, you have to imagine the body has like a thermostat, and that's set at a certain point. And if you keep going under, it will push it back up and push it back up. So when somebody at 40% body fat starts dieting, there's not going to be much slowdown. But somebody who wants to go from 10 to let's say 8 or 7% body fat, that's going to be very, very difficult. And the reason that is difficult is biology. So, how do you get really lean? First things first, you have to suffer. Like, I don't care what anybody tells you what they're selling you. If you want to get to almost subhuman body fat levels, it's not going to be comfortable. So, whether they're selling you a supplement or a diet, I just sell my humble training, but it's difficult. And the reason why it's difficult is because your body fights you. And I hope you can see this. So I made this whiteboard. Okay? Everybody can see the whiteboard? Yeah, everybody can see that? All right. So there is underfeeding and there's overfeeding. Okay? So you're eating less than you need, or you're eating more. And here is testosterone, growth hormone, thyroid hormone, cortisol, insulin, and so on and so forth. So, when somebody eats more calories than he needs, his testosterone is up, his growth hormone is up, the thyroid works well, cortisol is low, insulin is up, leptin, which is a satiety hormone, is up, ghrelin is down, the hunger hormone, FM I put for fat mass, and MM is muscle mass. Both go up. All right? Now, when you start underfeeding, that's when stuff goes wrong. Testosterone drops, growth hormone drops, your thyroid activity level drops, your cortisol goes up, leptin goes down, ghrelin, which is the evil hunger hormone. If you ever had a bad night and you didn't sleep a lot, you wake up next morning, you just crave, yeah, John, I need sleep. You know what? Thanks, John, but it's allergies, man. I sleep fine. It's just whatever's in the air, but thanks for your concern. So back to here. Ghrelin comes up, the hunger hormone. Fat mass goes down and muscle mass goes down. So that is pretty much a nightmare, all right? You have less testosterone, less growth hormone. You have a slowdown thyroid. You're losing muscle mass. You're losing fat mass too. In the long run, you're going to end up skinny fat. So what's the solution? Well, that's great, Mike. Thanks for nothing. Now you told us you can never get lean. The idea is that there's two ways out of this. In 21st century America, the obvious solution is drugs, right? Drugs. So testosterone drops, you inject testosterone, you get insulin, you get thyroid tablets. For here you get some clenbuterol. The only thing that hasn't been invented yet is injectable leptin. I think there's actually injectable leptin, but it's kind of like 30 grand a month, so that's might be out of the price range for most people. So a lot of athletes, they fix the hormonal imbalance by reaching for chemicals, right? And that works. I mean, have you been to Instagram? Hey, that stuff really works really well, right? But there are certain health risks with that, right? And it's also illegal. So the other way to go about it is to use the most anabolic substance there is, which is food. The one thing that can make all this flip back into the positive are carbohydrates. So that's where the cheat meal comes in and the refeeds and all that. So I want to go into a little bit of detail how to go about it. So there's a couple of ways this can be done. It can be unstructured cheat meals, which I'm not a fan of because that ends in total disaster. Some people have 2-day refeeds. That I don't like either because it's too much. So when you're working at such low body fat levels, you need a coach or somebody who's competent and tells you what to do and when. And basically what it boils down to is you pick a 5-hour window where you load up on glycogen, okay? The rule of thumb is about, in that 5-hour window, you consume about 2 grams of glycogen or carbohydrates per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, it would be 300. Now here's the trick. That refeed has to be low in fat. So you can't be eating donuts and so on and so forth. It would be like bagels, rice, pasta, things like that. The added glycogen will spike testosterone, spike growth hormone, lower your cortisol, keep you full, and bounce back your muscle mass. There is no hard and fast rule as to how often or when you should refeed. Generally speaking, and that's being very general, the leaner you are and the bigger you are, the more carbs you can eat, right? So somebody who's 240 at 8% body fat or less can probably do that every 3rd day. Somebody smaller, it would not be such a big idea. The point is, refeeds are structured. They are not, let's go to the all-you-can-eat place and eat until they kick us out, right? That's not how that works. Refeeds mean I'm taking a measured amount of carbohydrates in a specific time frame and consume them. Ideally, you want to do them around either a heavy workout or a body part that's maybe not such a strong one of yours. So in my case, it would be, let's say, arms and chest. I put my carbohydrates there, if that day happens to fall together. Okay? So this way, you can stop the muscle loss that we're having here and reset all the hormones, and then from there on, start the dieting cycle again. It will also prevent you from going insane. So, to summarize, getting to low body fat levels is complicated. You will have to suffer a little bit. And you will need to implement some sort of strategy where you cycle your carbohydrates to some extent. Whereas somebody comes from, let's say, 40 to 15% body fat can just go linear, right? But here it gets too complicated. So you need to keep in mind that you can't beat nature. So in other words, if somebody says, oh, I'm not doing the refeeds, I'm just going to keep eating and kind of keep dieting, this is going to get worse, okay? Testosterone will drop even further, growth hormone will drop further, until there's basically no muscle left. I mean, some natural competitors in natural bodybuilding shows, their testosterone levels are at castrate levels, okay? The thing with the refeed is, do not go on the scale, because you're going to be 5 to 7 pounds heavier from the glycogen into water. That's not fat that you have gained. That's just glycogen you're carrying into the muscle and the liver for that matter. So there you have it. The non-chemical, so to speak, way of getting lean is playing with the food in a structured and intelligent manner. Like I said, it doesn't mean we're going to 5-napkin burger and eat whatever we can. No, we're taking our carbs, when it's time, we consume them then. That is it for today. As always, thank you for watching and thanks for the support, guys. I'm really getting a lot of joy out of these videos, and we will do something on Friday, and then you have an extremely awesome Memorial Day weekend. Okay? Thanks, guys.